All right. Well,
Um,
y'all, welcome to Game Club discussion for Dosa Divas. Kind of excited to talk about this game. This was a surprise for me because I more so because I didn't really look into this game before I got it and really fell in love with it. So yeah. Does anybody wish to tell like a brief summary of the story for this game? Or I can do it. It doesn't matter.
oh, you mean like summary of like what the game is?
Yeah, yeah. But
More
before
so.
we get started, a discussion of it, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if someone else wants to do it this time.
I gotta pull
Uh,
up on Steam.
well,
I got you.
basically, play as these three group of characters. Um, one of which has come back after a 10-year, I guess, 10-year gap away from her family, and so they're traveling to go see uh family in the area. Um, and then and also they cook a lot of meals. Um, and that's kind of the game. You got
Yeah,
to fight
yeah, yeah.
people to get through because turns out one of your family is uh pulling the capitalism and keeping you from
Pulling the
getting to
capitalism.
pulling the capitalism
Yeah,
and keeping you
definitely.
from getting to through all of these different towns and stuff.
Yeah, the yeah that's
That's
pretty accurate.
hilarious.
Yeah. So
That's
yeah, pretty much
hilarious.
we play with some sisters, and one of the sisters has been away from years, and yeah, we're just trying to. She's trying to reunite with everyone, her family, and our mom and dad. But one of the third sisters in the group is super capitalism, super, you know,
Super capitalism.
taking over everything. She, there's some little details that will kind of jump in right into it. I realized that the
Lena
video.
Lena
Okay.
is something.
Yeah.
Definitely.
There's
Let
for
me make sure I play that
real quick.
video here.
I was thinking about for the recording today.
Hmm.
I want to read off the 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 one sentence uh
Yeah.
detail from Steam, and then I was thinking that we, at least for everyone who's participating in the conversation today, we go around and basically say your name and say like what your like creative role is, as far as like in games, I guess, or
Yeah.
in related. That way, maybe we can start using that as like our introductions for our
Yeah. A
videos going
template.
forward or
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah.
I'm down. No, I'm down. I'm down with that.
Okay, cool. Yeah. All right, real quick then. Dosa Divas. It is uh, I guess you could say a spicy narrative turn-based RPG, where you battle against an evil food empire. Two sisters and their upgradable spirit mech goddess cook delicious meals, fight corpos, build up your reputation with local communities, and reconcile with your estranged loved ones. This is a game developed by Outerloop Games that came out in April. And yeah, also, everybody, I'm Tim. I'm a game designer and also the creative director of the Melanated Game Kitchen. Happy to chat about this game today.
Yeah. My name is Darius. I am a sound designer, and yeah, I'm excited to talk about this game today, and kind of also just touch on all kind of different aspects of this game.
We could maybe go in order based on the chat.
Yeah. That's what I was doing.
Oh, cool. So, Demetrius, you
Demetrix,
want
you
to go
want to
next?
go next?
Oh,
Go ahead,
yeah,
Steven.
sure.
I guess I am talking, ain't I?
Yeah, you might as well. It
No,
doesn't really
yeah.
matter.
Popcorn Steven. Yeah, my name's Steven. I'm a programmer, game designer. And yeah, I enjoyed playing this game.
Um, I'll go next. I'm Dimitri Bell, also known as Mr. Action. I am a 2D artist and UI designer. I really pretty much enjoying playing the game, though I didn't get to finish.
All good, all good.
Am I next? I don't know if everyone's listening. Hello, everyone. I'm Nigel. I'm a systems and narrative game designer, and I'm excited to talk about this game and just how messy making food and family is.
Yeah.
Go next. So my name is Wayne Messam. The second, I'm a technical sound designer. Yeah, also a member here of Melanated Game Kitchen. Yeah, excited for the conversation.
Hey, I'm Scott. I'm a programmer. That's about it.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Also, if I can be a little rebellious today, can I also call on my fellow speakers? You know, let's push the bar. Let's hop on camera, even if it's like an emoji face or a VTuber or something like that. Let's let's engage with our viewers by them seeing our faces.
Hold on, you want us to let them see our faces for real?
If you want to.
Yeah,
No,
if you want
no.
to. If you're
It's
not
the
comfortable,
challenge.
you don't have to.
It's
No,
the
no,
challenge.
no. That's
Let's see.
not a problem. I'm just gonna have to switch devices real quick. Hold on, give me a second. I'm not pretty today, but I can at least show myself out. Let's go. Hold on, I'll be right back.
Okay, here we go.
Here,
Yeah, unfortunately, no camera for me. I'm stuck in my office right now, and I can't use my camera in there.
Valid.
No problem, man. No
I
problem.
can make a background. Oh, is my camera not turned?
I'm just saying it would be good to talk to people's faces. Agreed.
I'm just saying, we playing the YouTube game, man. Only so many brothers can get by on their voices alone. Not all of us can be Savage Speaks or something.
Is this better?
Much better. Oh man, and I love that Radio Shack that you're working in. It's a real classic.
Radio Shack is
I love
crazy.
that Radio Shack.
Radio Shack is crazy.
We got to keep it alive.
This is better. Hold on, I'm coming out. Coming in.
Give me a sec.
I'm ready to begin. Here we. Yep, this is my face, afro. It ain't in shape.
Lovely.
Hey,
I'm
brother.
here.
Welcome to have you. I'm glad to finally see the full you, the fullness of you.
Really? This ain't even the fullness. Hold on, let me get the peanut butter and jelly going on. Bam.
Okay.
I wish two
That's
sisters
funny.
can actually cook for me right now. I'm a little bit hungry.
Valid. So yeah, what do we want to start from today? Do you want to start off with like a high level summary or like highlights from the experience and kind of
Well, I
go
mean,
from there?
I was just gonna pretty much just start from the beginning and talk about the tutorial because I actually really appreciated it, especially the cooking part of it. I didn't. That actually was kind of a shock for me because I was like, "Oh, we're cooking." I was like, "Cool," and like, yeah, it was really kind of cool. I thought that mechanic was really cool. I like collectathons, so I already knew that we were going to collect a bunch of recipes and food throughout the game. So I was kind of excited for that part. I don't know why I like that stuff. I do. I suck at the combat, mind you, but still, yeah, I really enjoyed the kind of the slow ease into the like how the game was going to work between the RPG aspects of it and fighting. And then of course, hey, you can also make food, to heal yourself, make sure that you get the proper buffs that you need for fights as well. Yeah. And also the story was really, really touching, but we'll get, as we get into that deeper. Well, yeah. So.
Sorry, where you started was talking about the tutorial. It's been a minute since I beat the game. Can you remind me what was so like impactful for you about the tutorial?
Yeah, I just remember it being. I really like tutorials that like kind of tie in the story a little bit together, especially the fact that like they were just reunited together. We literally were like kind of dropped in randomly with these two sisters from the beginning, where it's just like, okay, they got back together. Here we go, and then I'm trying to recall. Like I actually played it in the beginning of this month too, so I apologize for having to remember. But I think when it came to the cooking part, like kind of showing like how pretty much the basic gameplay of the game will run and work, where you're just kind of collecting different ingredients, and then you're also interacting with the townsfolk and building kind of rapport with everybody with that. I think that was kind of a pretty good intro to how the game is going to overall run. I know it's not like the most in depth explanation of that, but yeah, that was generally. So I apologize. I'm now
Oh,
realizing
it's all good. It's all
I'm
good.
trying to recall exactly when I played this game because I did actually play it in the beginning of this month as well. So, but yeah, generally I remember it
Fortunately,
feeling good about that.
it was just showing on the screen a little while ago. So
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it literally just passed by as we were chatting. So
yeah,
yeah.
One of the things I noticed is like the game didn't do a lot. It felt like it didn't do a lot of tutorialization of the actual cooking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which I think was interesting because it's like, that's you do a lot of cooking in the game, but you don't like, but it doesn't,
Mm-hmm.
they don't have to explain it because I think a lot of the mini games you have to do in order to do the cooking they're
Yeah.
relatively simple, so they don't really need to explain it. But it also kind of lets you know that like your performance in this cooking is not
Oh, it'll let you know. Yeah, it's like that wasn't
yeah,
it.
it's not vital.
It was like that wasn't it.
You don't have to be extremely good at all the mini games in order to get
Yeah, exactly.
right.
I think, and that's actually a
There's
good point.
there's no fail state, right, for
Yeah.
the
No,
dishes.
no, not
not for the
really.
cooking, no.
Right.
Though
Yeah.
there is a moment with Amani where she just like, look, that's not how it's like judgment, like this is not the standard. And then she has to realize, like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna calm it down. I'm gonna just let you eat how you eat. If you feel satisfied and fine, I'm fine. Yeah.
Yeah. Like there's definitely like they do a lot of fun little dialogue bits at the end of cooking. If you do it often enough, like I did get a little bit of tired of hearing the same ones over and over, but like based upon how well you do, I think sometimes they change what they say
Yeah.
after you do the
Yeah.
cooking segments as well.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, the dialogues are really cute. If you do cook a lot in this game, they're really cute sometimes. Yeah, they repeat each other because it's just like, sometimes it's just like, well, you just decided to cook randomly, but like there's some really good dialogue that happens if you do really well, if you do like really bad. Yeah, so I really enjoyed that. I was gonna also say that when Steven did touch on something that kind of reminded me, even though the cooking really wasn't explained too in depth, but I think it was good for me because I was like, okay, well, I know that I'll be doing this a million times throughout this game, and so I could get better and better and better, and then that also allows me to kind of play around with other ingredients. So I guess maybe that's why it was memorable for me, even though it wasn't super in depth. It kind of got excited about collecting all the ingredients. So I was like, ooh, this is like I can't wait to keep doing this over and over again. Even yeah, I don't know. That was just more so me. I like this was definitely a easier RPG to play for me, which is good because I usually suck at RPGs and I usually lose interest really fast. But like I really love the story and even just the way that you kind of interacted between the mini games of cooking and then even the battles. Like a lot of that stuff was really fun with me. It kind of kept me engaged and kind of being like, ooh, like actually like planning well on how to fight too, because I usually suck at planning how to fight in RPG stuff like that. But anyways, that's just
Let me
yeah.
yeah, let me go back to the cooking bit again as well. Like the tutorial mentioned, just from I guess, an observation, like um, the fact that it doesn't have a tutorial for the cooking part, as mentioned. Like, I think it's also one of those same things as from a theme standpoint that like cooking, you can make
Takes
mistakes
time.
and
Yeah.
it's like
Yep.
fine.
Yeah.
It's like as Nigel mentioned, like it's messy, like cooking. Like cooking can be messy. And yeah, just go ahead and cook. Like you're gonna cook a lot in this game, like a lot. Like that's the main like quest, is cooking for people, and then
Mhm.
using those dishes to either give them to people to help them, you know, get healthy and progress your quests, or use them in your fights to heal and get your SP back, your HP back, right? Like, so you can cook a lot of stuff. So it's like, go ahead and mess up. You'll get it next time.
Yeah.
And then there's no fail state. But if you do really well, you get 2 dishes and not just one, right?
Yeah.
So it's just rewarding you for doing it and getting better at it instead of giving you some, punishment.
Yeah. You get that free to go plate.
Yeah.
Free to go plate.
Yes.
Other theme I'll drop that I was since I just finished the game yesterday was notably about the tutorial is the game starts and ends with cooking
Yeah.
as like a little bookend. So just something to keep in mind in the discussion, I guess. That was like a strong theme in the design of the game and the story.
Yeah, and I really like that too. I really kind of enjoyed the overall like theme of like, you know, we're all doing this like together, and you know we got to slow down and as well. I'm jumping ahead. I'm sorry. Let me be quiet. I won't talk about that part yet. Sorry, but
So you're
I'll make a note of that about that theme. But anyways,
Yeah, before we
Also,
get too far off of the tutorializing and stuff, with the mini games, like we're talking about them as like, oh, they didn't need a tutorial because they're straightforward, and I think that's mostly true. But I also think it's like, it's a pretty strong testament to like, um, I think they made some smart design and UI UX choices and how they presented the games to you that
yeah,
they didn't need tutorials. It was all, it's straightforward, but it's straightforward because they presented the information in a way that was immediately like clickable,
yeah,
and I don't think that's a small like a small feat when they had like 5 or 6 different mini games. And also, I also don't think it was done perfectly. There were definitely a few times where I'm like, I was thinking like, I don't really know what I'm doing in this mini game. I don't really know exactly what the rules are. I'm just sort of reacting to,
yeah,
the colors on screen, the prompts on screen when I see a button press. And for some of them, it worked really well. For others, it didn't work as well. But I think that's like I guess it's a demonstration, right? There were some that they did a really good job on, and it's like, yeah, somebody put in the work for the UI UX, and other ones that were a little bit rougher.
yeah. No,
That's
I
valid.
totally agree with that. I think
Anyone remember that was like not great?
The one
I think,
that sticks out to me is when the lights would turn off on some of the
yeah,
yeah,
when you get later into the things, the lights would turn off. I didn't realize I had to hit the shoulder buttons to get them to keep
e-
on.
exactly,
Oh,
exactly.
you can
Yeah, I
fix
was like,
that.
yeah,
Oh
I
snap!
was like,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. I was
You're
like
supposed
half an
to.
hour before the end of the game before I realized you could turn the lights back on. I was like, how do you play this game?
Yeah, you're
yeah,
supposed to like hit the bumper. It's like it flashed for a very short period of time when it told you,
Yeah.
but then the lights went out. So you're
Mhm.
like, sorry.
I had no idea.
because they do have a UI prompt on the bottom, so I
Yeah,
caught it
yeah,
the
Yeah.
first time, and from there I figured out like, oh, every distraction you press the shoulder buttons because they always make it the same buttons in some
yeah.
way.
Oh,
I
I
guess
didn't
you
even notice
didn't
that.
see, but yeah, the UI prompt is always on the bottom. But so if your sight line isn't looking down there, it might not be as easy.
yeah,
Versus some of
Mhm.
the other mini games where the distraction is a bit. It's like there's like those smudges on the screen, and you see them
Yeah.
come over your UI, and then it shows press LB or press RB or something.
Yeah.
Right, right.
yeah.
Yeah. The one that I messed up on for like half the game, and I think it's just 'cause I didn't read the instructions during the mini game. I was just like going off of vibes. Was the stir one, like the moving the analog stick in a
Oh,
rotation.
Like yeah,
yeah,
Yeah, I
I
do
messed
not know
up
how
on
to
that for a
control
long
that.
time.
yeah. That
It's
one.
Speed
actually
matching,
it's
yeah.
actually just like you have to stir it in the same pace as the GIF or the video that they're showing,
oh,
and
Uh,
and then that will do it.
oh, okay.
I didn't know that. I
I,
just kind of
I I
figured it
was
out.
just slowing down. I didn't know that we had to follow
yeah.
that. I
Speed up or slow down based upon like where that thing was, that barometer or
I wasn't
whatever.
even referencing that. I was
Right.
just like okay, but I'll slow down a little bit. I thought it was a cook. I thought
Mhm.
it was like Cooking Mama. So I was like, I remember Cooking Mama from the DS. I'm just gonna slow down a little bit and hope Mama's
Yeah.
proud. But okay,
But I guess to poll the whole room, like in terms of like how well you picked up all the cooking mini games, like how many of us like felt like we were like 70, 80, 90% or 100% had no problems at all. Like cuz like for me, I felt like for the cooking mini games at least compared to other stuff, I was probably like around 75, 80% no problem. Like I figured out it eventually and stuff like that.
Yeah, I just went in there swinging. I did not read any instructions. I just saw like, oh, it's supposed to do this. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, I'd say by
Uh,
like the end of the first island, I was getting because it's like every time you do like 2 mini games per dish, and so I'd get a super rank on at least one of them, and most of the time 2 by the end. Um, and stop getting like the meh or the okay or whatever it was by like the end of the second island. So I think I
yeah.
picked it up pretty quick.
Yeah, I was gonna say that too. Like, I think once you actually got the hang of it, like, and like I said, there really wasn't too much of a failure from the games too much. So after a while, it felt really good. Like, okay, cool. Like, I'm also getting extra food. I can use it to heal. I really did appreciate that too, because I always run into troubles with like some of these kind of games where you have to make your own like potions and stuff like that, because and sometimes you don't get rewarded for it if you really mess up badly. But like I feel like it was pretty generous about being like, here's like 3 dishes that that you made. You didn't expect to get 3, did you? And you're like, oh cool, thanks. And that really saved me
Mhm.
from that one fight or whatever that I'm about to go into. So yeah, it was nice.
Yeah. The one mini game I felt like I got all of them pretty good, but the one mini game I always struggled with throughout the whole thing was the one where it's like going in a circle. You gotta hit the
Yep,
button at the
yep.
right time because that timing is real sensitive. It
Hmm
felt like so I
That's
would mess
exactly the
up.
one I was saying. Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Wait, which one?
That
Which
one,
one? The one when you're
the one where
praying?
it's rotating in a circle
The
and you
flipping
gotta hit
one.
the A button at the right time. You know.
Yeah,
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
got you. The
where you
flipping,
have to
got
time it
you.
and press A.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that one I struggled with the whole time.
Yeah, and they had something with it, which I never quite clocked like what the difference was, but like some of the icons around like the dial were like one color like a blue and another was like a purple. And I couldn't
Mhm.
tell if they were supposed to be different, like I was supposed to do something different with them.
Yeah, I had no idea. I'm not sure.
Yeah, my only guess with that one is that like I think some of them maybe it was like how permanent they were. Like I noticed sometimes the blue ones might move around a little
Mm-hmm.
bit, so it could be
Mm.
like a timer on them or something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but yeah, but it seems like for the most part, like with enough repetition, like we got comfortable enough to like be successful with it. Cause like I
Yep.
feel like a game where they expect you to do the same action over and over, if failure feels really bad, you're gonna want to not engage with that
Yeah.
mechanic or mini
Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
I felt like the combat was not as fun as the cooking. I don't know if other folks felt that way, but like,
Ooh, interesting.
That's that's real
Ooh,
Yeah,
interesting.
sir.
talk more
I
about
mean,
that. Talk more about that, Steven.
Yeah,
okay,
please.
okay. I
Appreciate it.
mean,
Appreciate it.
it felt like. I mean, I'm not in the. I don't play a lot of RPGs, so that's maybe part of the problem. But I didn't enjoy trying to figure out which of the 5. I guess it was 5 because I'm watching this video. 5 different flavors. These the enemies were weak to, and then once you do that, just pick the ability that hits the most to get them stuffed or whatever. Because it was just like it didn't feel. It felt like the strategy was um it didn't feel like I felt like I was like searching for what they were weak to and not necessarily like planning out my moves. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
well,
Hmm.
I'll try to use these attacks because I don't want to use up all of my spirit. Eventually the spirit meter or whatever, you didn't really need to worry about that too much. Because I think it gets refilled every
I guess
fight.
refilled that.
Every
Yeah, every
fight,
Yeah,
yeah,
fight.
every fight.
yeah.
Mhm.
Like
And so
Um,
like I didn't really pay too much attention to it after a while. Uh, so mostly what I would do is I would just like hit them with all the different various things and then find it and then hit them with whichever attack does the most amount of hits, and then it was kind of it. Because then they would
Yeah.
be stunned for the rest of the it felt like for the rest of the fight, and that's when you dealt a lot of
Hmm.
your damage too. So I don't know.
I I don't know.
I don't think it was
I think
terrible.
I. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. I was just saying I didn't think it was terrible. I just thought it was it wasn't like something to write home about.
Admittedly, I'm a baby at RPGs, like I mentioned before already. So I really enjoyed it. Like it
Okay.
made me feel like like in those cartoons or animes where like you find the weakness, you're like, I got him now, and your eyes start glowing, and then all of a sudden you start conjuring the spells. Man, I don't know. Something about it made me feel good about it. I was like, ooh, you like spicy food, huh? Let me put you in this food coma real quick. see if you can move now. Yeah, because like I suck at combat, so some of the I will say when I was fighting, some of the things. Oh gosh, I can't remember the name. I looked at the names of the enemies, but I forgot. But like one enemy that I kept falling to, I think they were from Alina's team. And like I just could not time it well. Like I just sucked. So like being able to find, like, you know what, you like this food? Oh, perfect. I'm going to knock you out with this thing, and I'm going to use it every time to beat you up until you stop attacking me. Like it felt good. And again, I know that's kind of a baby move because it's like, I was like, well, now that I found it, I can beat you up, and so you don't have to worry about you too much. But yeah, I guess I liked it because it was kind of baby proof of like, hey, you can I hate to say brute force, but yeah, I mean, it wasn't a way brute forcing your way to the fight in a way. So I guess it worked out well for me because now obviously there are some moments where it didn't, because like I said, that strategy part where you actually do need to strategize sometimes will be like, oh shoot, I can't just beat you up with this one ability. I got to find another food that you like because you're not falling for it no more, But that also made it interesting for like boss fights too, though. When it mixed it up. So, I don't know. I liked it. I liked it for the basic enemies, definitely. But yeah, I could definitely see that if somebody was wanting to build more strategy and not brute force their way, then definitely, yeah. I have a friend who loves RPGs, so I anytime I try to play with them, I can't because they're thinking about all the strategies. I'm just like, I'm ready to bust in. Give me the character who just who stabs already. Yeah. Anyways,
and I think that's the thing. They force you to switch characters anyway, as far as using different moves, because early on, only certain characters have certain status effects.
Yeah.
On the team for your attacks, so there's some limitation for your strategy early.
Yeah.
Yeah, like by like Island 3, I'd definitely done enough of the village upgrading type stuff. So like each character had at least 2 or 3 skills each by then. But like I think so like there's like the style or the aesthetic of the combat, because we haven't talked about the game's aesthetic at all. Like, the art direction is phenomenal. So the combat is really charming.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, like all the enemies being designed after evil corporation roles, like the evil HR department, the security guards,
the freaking lawyers,
the VCs, man. So disclaimer: I did not have time to finish the whole game. Like I got up to like the parents and finished that whole segment. So like in terms of me for combat, I haven't died once. I had individual people maybe fall, but like for the most part on regular difficulty, it was pretty smooth. Like especially coming off after like Expedition 33, like the challenge is way lower.
Oh,
if you're like
you had the hardest parry game most recent.
Yeah.
Right. And mind you, I was still feeling at mines, but that's another story. It's okay. I definitely died in this game.
But yeah, I think just like with the cooking, with the combat also, a lot of repetition is built into it because the enemies come back as well too. Because the enemies do provide a good resource, but it's like it helps you get better at like learning their timing. Because like the combat reminded me a lot of Sea of Stars. I actually had this game right here on myself.
Yeah, definitely.
Played it. Yeah. It reminded me a lot of that, especially when I saw some of the specials and stuff.
Especially the boost system that they added. That's directly from there, right?
Yep. Right out of there, or right out of the RPGs that they're inspired by. So like, it was definitely doing like an easier version of that, but like the like timing for like the blocking and stuff, the little star thing, that was borrowed from Sea of Stars, but like it definitely took a little while to get the feel of it compared to when I was playing it in Sea of Stars previously. So I don't quite know if like that might also be a bit of a learning curve, just like learning the actual timing to block and hit versus looking when that star logo comes in, because it's not coming up exactly when you need to hit it. It comes up, and you gotta wait like half a breath or something.
Are you talking about like the block feature? Like, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I was struggling with that a little bit. Like that little
I think
dude. The video's playing it right now, but that little dude with that briefcase.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no. The dude with the briefcase be cheating, especially when you get later in the game.
I said, now I know I pressed that button when that star came up.
It's like, okay. Yeah,
I think that's what really helped me with the combat is playing the game is that the counter I saw that star I'm just like, oh, I could perfectly block like this. So it's not like it's not going to be like Expedition 33 where you kind of have to keep guessing on your toes. It's just like, oh, there's something that notifies me. I'm glad I don't have to struggle.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I guess touching on the art style though, I will say that some of the animations were really smooth. Where it was like, okay, I know that when you flip, I need to block you like right now. So like, so some of them were fantastic with that, and the star lined up. But I guess it wasn't this briefcase guy. It was actually somebody else. Sorry. Oh yeah, it was this dude. This dude, like yeah, like
The attack animations
it was like
are hilarious.
yeah, no, they're hilarious, but you're like, dang, I didn't expect you to open your briefcase like that. That's not what I was expecting. You were slithering on the floor just a minute ago. I thought you were gonna do like some kind of kick move, but you got up and I don't know, put papers in my face. But no, but like yeah, it was really cute. I know that also I suck at RPGs and I keep saying that, but like I'm I'm sure that somebody who probably has a better experience might say otherwise because again I suck at RPGs. So sometimes I kind of brute my way in and then realize that oh, there's a way better way of executing a lot of things that I'm doing right now. Yeah, but
Well, this is
anyways,
one of the most accessible RPGs I've played, Darius. So
yeah.
this is probably one of your better experiences.
Oh,
that you
absolutely,
had.
yeah, and I have to agree with that. Like this was super accessible. Even like Mr. Uncle Hinty, like giving those hints helped out a lot actually. Because I think I can't remember when there was I forgot something. It was like a simple like when you have to like get their orders, you're supposed to honk at them. I could not for the life of me remember what that key was. And then he randomly said it, and I was like, "Oh, thank God!" I said, "I don't know what you want me to do, Uncle Hinty. I don't know." I was like, "I really don't know what you want to do." And he was like, "Oh, by the way, press that key for that horn I was talking about." I was like, "Oh,
Yeah,
cool."
when I saw that horn icon, I was just like, oh, I definitely know what I'm gonna do. I kept repeatedly clicking it like this. Yeah, you ready to eat? You ready to eat?
Oh yeah, I get that horn button.
Do we have a quick? Sorry, go on.
Oh no, I was good. That's all I had to say. Horn button was fun. That's it.
Yeah, it
I was
was.
gonna say I have a visceral memory that just came back because as soon as I learned that my food truck robot mech had a horn on it, I was blasting that stuff all the time. And then when they talked about yeah, and your robot mech is a goddess, is a diva. It can discern people's innate desires, and you do that by honking the horn at them like a food truck or ice cream truck coming down the street. And I'm like,
Right.
oh my god, that was so genius in terms of like theming and mechanic. Like, 'cause I was
Yeah.
just honking it for the hell of it the entire time.
Man, these workers were hungry. I was like, y'all deserve it. Find it. Like, I'm gonna find these recipes for you. I feel like I
Truly,
did a job for my community.
it's
Hmm
really
For
going
once.
through it. It's like, girl, you need to eat something because you
That's a
Like,
great
taking
point, Nigel. Great point.
Like,
While we're on this topic, about the story, um, I really thought that it was pretty nice. The whole like situation. I'm still kind of I'm literally at like the final spot right now, and I'm going through the motions right now. But
oof.
to kind of like recap, Amani, the sister, um, comes back to her hometown to tell her sisters something, and whew, um, because things change so much, and like I'm still kind of like up in the air about everyone's like motivations for why things are the way that they are. But
Yeah.
long story short, like the younger sister um took over the family business as the other two sisters were like either away or not working at the family business. The younger sister optimized it to the point where basically meals are like paced and like delivered in like packages to like the other islands or villages that you explore on your way throughout the whole game and stuff like that. Um, and I guess just like as you're going through like all of the orders, feeding the people in the different islands and things like that, and hearing what all they're like going through without any sort of like culture or like passed down traditional skills to like make the foods that they've enjoyed up until like, before things were so optimized to this point. Um, it's just an interesting journey to experience until you get to the sister's parents. Um, it was to the point where I was just like, dang, like they're pretty much unrecognizable. They can't even remember the
Right.
last meals that they made with their like sisters and things like that, or their daughters and stuff like that. And I don't know, that part really confused me. The part with the parents really confused me. But I saw all the like um elements and themes that were going on. I understood the frustration of I think her name was Samara.
Mhm.
Yeah, the sister that stayed but wasn't working at the restaurant. Um, yeah, to kind of like see all of their different ambitions and intentions throughout the game kind of come together at the end. Yeah, it was just something that I didn't expect from this game, like being so like bite-sized. There's some heavy topics
Like
that
yeah,
they kind of
real
cover.
topics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Especially
Yeah.
like
the. I'm sorry. Go ahead, man.
yeah, definitely. I was just gonna say it was definitely relatable, being like at a certain age where you kind of like leave the coop, but like different people have different journeys in that. Like some people
Yeah.
stay behind, right? And what happens then, right? Some people go their own journey and then, come back for a season. Um, and yeah, I mean, I don't know if we gave like a spoiler warning yet, but like, when we get to like talking about the ending of the series.
Yeah.
We can go more into get more into it, but I just wanted to give a huge shout out to whoever made the story of the game. That's like A1 writing that I
Yeah.
was not
Very good.
expecting.
Very good.
It no, it was yeah. I think that like you mentioned, it's just really really realistic, of like how everybody has their own like things that they go through, their own seasons. Sometimes you just don't get time to catch up with people, and like it was just really real. As somebody who's away from their hometown from where I was born and raised, every time I go down there, to visit family, there's like, new things that I may have never heard of over the phone or, through text message or mail, whatever communication style, you might use. And you're like, dang, like, I didn't know all that was going on. Like, I should have came down here. There's like so many emotions about that too, of like especially Amani, like feeling the guilt of like not really being nearby, but also having awareness of like you're going through your own things that nobody even knows about. And then again, I'm not gonna get into that little detail yet, but still, yeah, like it to very very relatable. And also, I don't know if we got into the second level yet, but the tree level where they're like working underground now, that one was a big shock to me.
That
I
was
didn't think they were going to like
Canopia.
yeah,
Yeah.
Canopia, something like that. Yeah, I didn't expect them to
Oh,
take it there. Like I was like, oh, they're not gonna take it there. I was like, oh, they really did, and it has an interesting commentary about some other, things about work, labor, and all.
What's up,
There's a
Steven?
lot of little themes in this game that you're like, dang, like that's real. This is a real, like this is like real things that are how many people like right now, So yeah, the story is definitely the. I
I
know
think
we'll dive more into it more, but yeah.
I think its art style just kind of makes you think it doesn't go too far. That's one of the things
That's
I
true.
noticed.
Agreed.
This
Agreed.
looks like one of these more like innocent games that gonna have a lighthearted story, but then it just start having darker tones, serious stuff. Even the banter, I'm like, y'all did not just put this in this type of game.
Right. It's like,
There's a
whoa.
surprising amount of depth in this game.
Have we confirmed ethnicities on here? Was it ever mentioned in the game?
No.
No, I don't think so.
It's kind of like unspokenly implied, but to me,
Yeah,
I was just like, is it?
it's weird
Like-
because I see a lot of like Mexican themes, but like
Yeah,
they're so obviously black too.
yeah.
Like,
Oh, I was thinking more Southeast Asian, honestly. Just because of like the spirituality aspect and how they present it. Like, you know,
That's
like when
definitely
you,
the stronger cultural lean. I agree, Nigel. And the
Yeah.
food dishes as well. It leans more that way.
Mm,
I think a part of it is it just like it didn't matter to me. I was just going in like this is a story about, to me, trying to reconnect with family. I haven't finished the game. I think that was a part of it what I was like, oh, you've been away for a while, you don't know what's going on, people are splitting apart in different ways. That's what I was getting. But hey.
I realized while we were talking that the place is probably Canopy, like P is in the food.
No. Wait, what did it say?
Canopy.
Oh, good
Does it-
pickup, Steven.
Does it Canopia?
Canopy too.
Good pickup.
I realized that all of
the names.
locations are puns. Like Barath Village is like Broth.
Yeah, Broth
Broth,
Village.
yep. Oh my
What's
God.
the main
Island?
island? Yeah, Main Dish Island. Yeah.
Main dish,
yeah. Props to the writing team. And I did want to add earlier sorry, go on, Stephen.
No. I was just saying there's some funny stuff in this. I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah. Like just because like I did finish Expedition 33 this year as well too, like both games had similar things about like this game is definitely I think made for people who are a little bit older and like dealing with like family and sometimes a little bit of grief and sometimes just like, you know, dealing with like how, where do you make a place for yourself going on in the future? Like, you know, one of the sisters, she gets her head reeled down, gets into that grind set mode, you know, becomes like probably fiscally very successful and stuff like that, but maybe not fulfilled in other ways, you know. Another sister just, you know, leaves the coop to go on like sort of like a journey of her own to sort of figure things out. And then there's like the middle child. Damn, I really related to all these three in different ways. But like the middle child who's like, you know, I'm just trying to keep the family together, so I'm staying behind and sort of dealing with all the messiness that's left around. Not to get too much into detail, but like also there's themes of family and also capitalism. Like in different characters and different islands. Like the first island with like the grandmother and the granddaughter or something, you know, in the second island with like the brother and the sister, you know, and then of course when they finally meet their parents and stuff and like I like to Wayne's point, I get the commentary that they're making that like things have changed, their traditions have changed so much that they don't even realize how like bad it's gotten.
Yeah.
Because everything has been so optimized and convenientized when like, you know, like maybe when we were kids, maybe our parents, if you guys did have parents that cook meals for you on a regular basis, that might have been a big deal. But we get older, we get busy. You know, I'm at fault for buying out food all the time because I'm just too busy to like cook for myself. You know, and like you really like, I feel like you lose a part of your like tradition at least.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm.
That's true.
Real
Yeah,
quick.
that's
I'm noticing, at least for me, it's getting hard to sort of follow some of the conversation when I think we're dancing around like the concrete story beats because we don't want to do spoiler stuff too much. I think now would be a good time to just say like hard cut says, you know, spoiler embargo's over. Say what you want. Be specific.
Yeah,
Here's
I
a
agree.
timestamp.
We are
Spoilers.
45 minutes in, so we can go ahead and just rip the Band-Aid off. So I think it's okay. We can go and start talking about some of the down points. Yeah, I'm going to start. I'm going to go back to that canopy level because that like the death of the brother shocked me. I was like, I was excited to win the fight and do all that stuff, and then to come to the house and like her be like, well, it's over. He's down. I'm like, what do you mean down? And they're like, oh no, girl, he gone. I was like, what? I know that's not how they said it, but like, I was like, oh wow, that actually hit me. Like I was streaming it, mind you, and I literally had to like kind of pause for a second, try not to like burst out in tears because like that was really real. Like just the reality of like, trying to, in that case, in that story's case, you're trying to help, your family member out the best you can. Especially for the little girl, having that weight on her of having to try to do something to help her brother out just to lose him and to witness that at such a young age too was like, wow, I didn't expect them to go that far with that. It was really like devastating, but like I said, it was kind of relatable, as someone who lost close family members when I was younger. It did kind of feel weird when you were like hanging out with them all the time and going through like things that you would go through as a family sometimes with that stuff, and then to suddenly lose somebody. It was like, wow, like and for a child, you like kind of feel like a lot of that weight on yourself, even though you don't really know like exactly how it could happen or what how can you don't really understand what is going on really. Yeah, it was just it was shocking to me. It was really shocking. But anyways, yeah.
I in retrospect, it made sense because when we talked to the brother didn't have any art when you were talking to him, and I was like, "This is weird. Seems like this is gonna if this is a main character, he should have some art, right?" And then dies pretty quick, and then I was like, "Oh, that's probably why." That's just me thinking about it from a developer perspective.
Well, yeah, and I guess
doesn't need any art.
Yeah, I guess.
But it kind of gives away the ghost, if you think about it a little.
I think it was just maybe the story. I was really at that point. I was really invested into the story, and I really was tied in with even the girl at that point. It comes like, girl, I mean, the sisters were literally doing all that stuff for mainly her in the village, at that point. Right. And to be like invested in all that, and then to like still like lose somebody, like ooh. And also I think that also kind of tied in with the I can't remember his name right now, but the person, the main boss with that mech. I think it
Arno?
Arno. Arno. And it kind of like there's just a lot of emotions with that too. I'm just like, oh my god, Arno's going to think. Yeah, sorry. And but like Arno was, I was like, girl, I was like, I don't know how Arno was going to feel about this. I was like, because he already had some other feelings about some other things. It's like there was just so many like emotions that like I just picked up on a lot of that stuff throughout the story, and I'm just like, shoot, like this is a lot to cover like that, I don't know. I still don't really know how to talk about it. It's a lot. It's a lot for me.
Let me ask a question, since it was mentioned, but like I guess for some of the others in the chat, like what was your driver for pushing through the game experience? It's like a 10-hour game, right? Was it the story? Was it the cooking? Was it like which one was like the main let me continue playing kind of pull?
I think
it was definitely the story for me. And the world building, like that was not how I was expecting their reunion with their parents to go. Like, first of all, I didn't even know if their parents were still in the picture. Right?
Yeah. For a while we didn't see a picture, nothing of them. We just
or hear anything that much about it,
Yeah.
We just heard that, they started the shop together, but like throughout the game I had this nagging question of like, okay, like it feels like we're primarily playing as like Samara, but like the one who is starting from square zero and is coming back really is Amani. So like why isn't she like the primary person's perspective that we're like looking at the story through? And it isn't until she kind of reveals to her and Lena that she's sick and that she's dying,
Yeah.
that you really just like, oh, I see why things shook out the way that it did. And who knew that Samara was like blaming herself for all of these years over Amani losing her leg and stuff like that. And yeah, it's just all of these like questions that were in my head that just kept me like, okay, I want to know more about why the parents can't even remember their own daughter losing a limb. Like what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like yeah, those
I think it
things
kind of
were
goes
what
to
drove
show
me.
how long it has been since they've actually interacted with their children. Because you'd seen them for however long, 20 years or whatever. Um, everybody got all their limbs, and then a lot of stuff happens, and they don't keep up on it, and then they don't see
Question.
them after another 10 years. You're not going to remember that kind of detail. So they didn't even recognize their kids when they
Yeah.
first showed up in that place. So, you know.
So I have a question for those of you who have beaten the game, because I haven't yet, and I just finished that whole resort area, because for me, as someone who doesn't live close to their family anymore, like I have to fly back maybe once or twice a year. A lot of time passes, and you see like that rapidly aging and stuff. So that was sort of my feeling seeing when I met their parents, but in the
That was
game,
my feeling as well.
and
Yeah.
and yeah, and like
Yeah.
my boy was like, oh, are they like are their faculties not as good as they used to be? Are their memories going away? Like, yeah, they're working at the resort, which probably has some amount of work, but like, they're not really cooking anymore. Lena just automatically feeds them. She doesn't really visit them. They just deal with the guests and stuff like that. So I was half wondering, is it them getting old, or is there some like magic food mech mumbo jumbo that is messing with their memories? Or is this just an analogy for like overworking yourself at that age and what it does to you? So that's my question for people who did finish the game. Did you get any answers to that?
You don't get a direct answer, I don't think, from what I remember.
Yeah, I didn't get a direct answer, but I definitely felt like my takeaway at the end was there was a mix between um, something about aging and dementia. But while that's like factor, I think there's a bigger part of it that plays into their character, which is like um, not even so much that they were like working themselves to death in old age, but just that like the entirety of their relationship with their kids was framed around work. That they
Yes.
spent
I
a
was gonna
lot of
Yeah.
their
say yes,
time,
Scott. Yeah.
um, you know, they're working at the restaurant. They weren't, they were connecting as a family, but not in the way that like outside of having that restaurant tie that they really kept together. And a lot of the interactions between like Samara and her mom, or Samara and her dad, um, were very like not surface level, but also not like I don't know, they weren't like particularly healthy. So like by the time they move into retirement, but they're these busybodies who can't stop working, and so it's like they sort of I don't know. It's like they mute their own memories by trying to convince themselves that they have to keep up with this like, breakneck pace of like always working. It's they're losing their memories because they've replaced them with like this false urgency to keep working the resort because that's the next thing that they need to be going and doing.
Right, and the Lena meals enable that because it doesn't. There's no prep time. It's just a tube of
Right.
Yeah.
food,
It's convenient. Yeah.
so they just keep doing it, and there's nothing that's keeping them. There's nothing that
Damn.
stops them to think about it.
Yeah.
I didn't even finish this game, and I'm like, well, I'm about to go for a bumpy ride of emotions.
Yeah. Honestly it's pretty impressive. One of the things that I was most impressed by was how they sort of frame some of these like hard relationship dynamics. And I don't know. I'm not sure what set this expectation for me, but I sort of like came into it with like, oh, they're gonna do a lot of like really trite, like everybody hugs and makes up at the end. And there's a lot of not that. There's a lot of just
Yeah.
like people are not super well off at the beginning and they end not resolving much. They're not perfect parents at the start, and they certainly don't end the game as perfect parents either.
Right.
Oh, definitely not. Exactly. Yeah.
I think that was
I
what
mean,
was so good about the story too. That at the
oh,
same time, where it was like very, yeah, it's just like, I mean, it's just like life. It's like, I hate to say it like that, like, I know
Yeah.
it's, but like, yeah, it's just life. Things don't always
Hmm.
get better. Sometimes it just gets, you just kind of have to tolerate it and just live with it. So yeah.
Yeah. Like I remember the scene where Amani finally got to tell her parents that she was dying.
Yeah.
Being like, I don't know. I sort of expected that to be like this like moment where a lot of family dynamics would sort of gravitate towards like oh we're going to resolve this and be a perfect family or something, and no,
Hmm.
not really, you know.
Yeah.
Like even during that
That's the
moment you still
last thing
see the
that happened.
tension between, yeah, you still see the tension between like Samara and the rest of her family. It's not like that's suddenly better. They're still sort of blowing Samara off. um, so it's certainly an honest portrayal. It is not painted over.
yeah.
Great. Because I have a lot of things to add on like the family aspect. Because like
Hmm.
it even feels like someone. This is definitely rooted in I think real life experiences and stuff. Just like growing up in like you come in sort of like mixed family in terms of like mixed in terms of like not everyone having the same birth parents and stuff like that. Like there are sometimes dynamics there that play out, like especially like with how Samara and her mom relationship was like pretty poor, but like Samara's mom would treat her like sometimes her like Amani better than her own birth daughter and stuff.
Yeah.
Um, but like sometimes there's death and tragedy in a family, like it doesn't always guarantee that like things will get better. It sometimes it even just exacerbates the underlying issues in the family unit. Because like their parents are workaholics. If anyone who has parents or friends who parents who like are workaholics or grandparents who were like, making that money and making that livelihood mattered so much. Especially if they
Hmm.
like gosh, my grandmother, she would hoard every little thing, even though she didn't need to anymore, because that was the mindset that was ingrained into her. And I kind of saw that in their own parents as well too. The fact that like, yeah, they're gonna be working until they hit the grave because that's what they
Agreed.
know.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm glad you and Scott brought those details up too, just because of like, talking about the story structure. That's like kind of pushing us along the story, right? Like we don't learn those details about what happened in the past, right? They slowly trickle it out over the course of the game until like that like a third of the game where you're like, oh, that's what happened. That's what the
Yeah.
parents were doing. That was the situation with the restaurant. It was stressful. They were working. Everybody was working. Lena was getting disregarded, getting yelled at by everybody. Samara and Amani were stressed and being mean. Everybody was like stressed and trying to get money to support themselves and working too damn hard and then not giving anybody any attention and love, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that was a core piece of like why there was so much issues and traumas generated because of
Hmm.
that. Probably why the parents forgot so much because they actually didn't pay attention because they were working so hard. You know.
I
Yeah,
wonder
that's a
how
good point.
I wonder how the mechs come into play with that, because it was, I had a hard time connect. They felt like they were thematically connected, but I missed the actual connection between the two, between like, because they had their own little separate stories going on, and
Between which
they
things
don't
again,
go
Steven?
very the diva mechs, like
Oh, the divas.
I'm trying to figure out how that story like connects to the rest of the game narratively, because they don't go into full detail as to what the mechs are or what they did in the past decades ago. I think it was like centuries
Yeah,
ago.
they kept that close to the chest. I was really hoping we would get
Hmm.
like a lore drop.
Hmm. Yeah.
I'll ever watch Big O, the anime Big O. Like
Nah.
Oh yeah,
the
there we go.
some of it,
the mechs
Hmm.
yeah.
gave me that vibe. These were things
Okay.
from an ancient society that did some like terrible Cthulhu-esque level horror, and they just and they just let the world reincarnate and do these same mistakes over again. Like,
Hmm.
I felt like these things
There
were
was
sleeping
one.
for a reason.
Yeah, well, and there was one weird little like lore drip near the end where they talked about like they sort of suggested that at one point maybe they were human at some point, or like their
Yeah, that was
spirits
also
came
a
from
suggestion.
humans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a lot of I don't know. I came away being like equal parts frustrated that there wasn't more explanation, and also like I really appreciated that it was left sort of open ended. I think if you over explained it, it might come across a little silly, and like the mystery kept it more fun.
Yeah. Well, I think one thing that I noticed while I was playing this game is that like it felt they did a lot with a little, and I think they had to do a lot with a little because it seemed like
Yeah.
there are bits and pieces that felt like they ran out of time at the end to get some of the
hmm
stuff. Which that's we're game devs, we know how that is. But I think that like I would imagine if they had more time, they would have fleshed out some of that more. Maybe not necessarily revealed literally everything, but they would have fleshed out some of that more, and it maybe would have tied in a little bit better with the rest of the narrative.
True. Yeah, I feel the same way. Yeah.
Like,
hmm
can we
Like,
talk about
we,
Arno's bit with the pizza?
wait, the pizza.
The pizza.
Oh, like inviting people to the pizza party, but they thought they were gonna get
Oh right.
fired or eaten.
Oh no,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that, but
Oh,
also the lore he said about pizza. They said
Oh,
Oh no, I
pizza
meant.
was a thing people used to do in ancient times.
Oh,
They used to have a whole nother society, it sounded like. I'm like, wait, what? Pizza?
yeah.
Everyone knows pizzas.
right.
But yeah, also the pizza party part, though. Sorry, you guys can go on. I just wanted to.
No. It was going into a little bit of like Horizon Zero Dawn esque. There were humans in the past. All the mechs you're using or all the animals are actually mechs that the humans made a millennia ago or whatever. So it is kind of like that.
Yeah, and that was interesting. They did a lot of little lore drips like that, like where they were talking about Lena making a corporation, and like they kind of they pulled out the word in a way that they were like, oh, this is a made up thing that's just coming into existence. So it's like ambiguously like solar punk future. How far post apocalyptic is this? I don't know. Um, it was fun world setting, world building, if nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
But to keep the topic on Arno and the pizza party, I feel like I don't know. I get the vibe that we here were like picking up on it, but I feel like for some people who like work for a big company, like say like an Amazon or something, and they're like a manager, they're not even like an exec or something, but they are like basically the overseer of everyone underneath them who's like running around a warehouse cleaning cups and stuff. They're like, hey, I'm the lesser of two evils because I'm trying my best here, but like people literally fainting while we're like moving boxes over them and stuff like that. I think it's a good Arnold Stir was a good analogy that like just being kind isn't really enough. Like you have to really stand with people as workers. You really have to like divest yourself from that structure. Because even if Arno left the company, he would still be viewed as their overseer. Like what's done was done. Someone lost their life. No amount of pizza parties can like wash that away.
Right.
true.
Yeah.
True.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
Arno was basically my favorite character for that reason. That like so much of what he represents is like self pity isn't sufficient to it's not about the uh I don't know, that internal dialogue with yourself about whether you consider yourself a good person or not. It's about the external like the real concrete materialistic like meat of the world. People are dying under your watch, and it doesn't matter if you're going, oh well, I'm the lesser of two evils over here. It's like, no, they're dying under your watch, and your half-assed attempts to get people to the hospital sort of and work within the system aren't sufficient ways to like it's not a sufficient a way to live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
hmm hmm Yeah. Yeah. I do like how that storyline. I do like how they again doing a lot with little for the story, right? There's only like
hmm
3 islands plus Lena's area. You go back to the island that you went to before, right? So you go back to
Yeah.
Canopy, you go back to um the spot, and then like yeah, you see what happened after you did the first thing, what the results were, and then now you have to help resolve it continued. So everyone's like after Arno, like we're gonna go take that newt down. You know,
Mhm.
Mhm.
it's like okay, like that's valid.
Mhm.
Well, and again to his character, right? Like he's at that point again serving up his own little pity party. Um,
Right.
And you know, it's like instead of being like, "Oh, well, I'm the lesser of two evils," he's now like wallowed in his "Oh, I'm the bad guy," but he's still not doing anything about it. He's still just sort of
Hmm.
hiding away and hiding out, and his character arc, I think, is like coming out of that.
Hmm.
So yeah, doing a lot with the little. I think Arno is an example of knowing how to take like the start of an idea and then really carry it across the finish line.
Yeah, 100% that.
Also, when you
100%.
come back to Canopy, we were talking before about oh gosh, I forgot her name. Is it Yuta, the little girl and her brother? But the
Yeah.
brother
Mhm.
dies.
Yeah.
And I thought they did a really good job of like making that narrative like not feel I don't know. It felt really fleshed out that like it had initial ramifications both for all the characters involved in the first half when you're in Canopy, both for Yuta and the Yuta's brother's best friend, and then you come back and it still has these lingering effects where the best friend is now blaming himself for what happened and like trying to I guess process that grief, but is processing it in a way that is making a mob, making a go get Arno mob,
Mhm.
um, and yeah, I thought it was really well done. I thought that was another example of them knowing how to um, take something and really flesh it out across multiple trips to these areas.
Yeah, agreed. Agreed. Hmm.
Yeah, it's UT.
Oh, UT. UT.
Yeah.
That's the character. Got it. Got it. Yeah. Let me see.
And while we have a little lull, can I make one other quick comment too?
Mhm.
Back about the parents portion as well too, when they were confronting them the first time. I really like the elements that they did of how like because the previous chapter you're talking about they had a friend who lost their grandmother because they're talking about grief, and of course if you're thinking about it, you realize the friend is probably the merchant, Kabi or Kobe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah.
yeah, Kabi.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they have this really touching story of how he stayed with their parents and stuff like that to help him like get over his grandmother because he was just so distraught. He wasn't talking, he wasn't eating. And then from the parents' view, in their like old age or dementia or something, they remember it differently. And I think that's a really interesting thing because like those are saying ones that like some of the moments when like our parents may have made us felt the saddest or something might have just been a random day to them, like something that they just did without like even thinking about it, because just like in like a heated moment, But those but like the after effects of that lives with us as the children for like forever. Um, like I felt like that moment really reflected something like that as well. Like, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, big
Yeah.
agree on that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that story in particular, I think, was pretty well done. Because there was only little bits of scenes, acknowledging it, but like you could kind of tell. I mean, even throughout that all of your interactions with Kabi, you could kind of tell that they have a repertoire, or that's not the right word, but you know what I mean. Like they know each other well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. True.
and that history that was revealed in Canopy uh, makes sense.
I like this character a lot.
Oh no.
You go visit him to get your foodstuffs, and then slowly over time, he also starts to like grow a little bit as a person as you go about doing your business.
He was kind of a lot for me at first.
Yeah. Oh, for
Definitely.
sure.
Yeah.
No,
Definitely.
no, he was just straight up cringe as soon as you just meet him. I'm like,
Yeah,
He's like, bro, really?
yeah. And he's still kind of always a lot, but like you get used to it, I guess. And I guess that's family in a lot of ways.
That's valid. Okay,
He got them moves though, bruh. Whenever he opens up that stop, bruh, he does that little flip and that twirl.
Yeah, he be smooth with it, man.
The animation, a lot of the animations in this game are really good.
They're really good, yeah.
He be smooth with it.
I like how Goddess all of a sudden does a double jump, and when you hold it like a chicken, I go like,
Yeah,
wow.
the chicken flaps.
Yeah. And then there's the Naruto run, and everyone is doing the Naruto run. And I'm going like, who's piloting? Who's piloting? No.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, especially when they honk, they just like honk in unison.
Yeah. I saw that animation a lot. Spamming that horn.
Just honking away.
Yeah, great animations, great art style. The food looked delicious for all the dishes that you make. I mean, very enticing. I took pictures of a bunch of foods while playing.
I did the same. I was like, wow, this food is great.
Looks great. It looks great.
Let me go learn how to make some food. I think that was one of the things about the game that I thought was interesting is that you have to get specific ingredients to make the food.
Yeah.
I was like, man, this is real life for real.
but not always. That's something I thought was really cool about it. It made cooking feel accessible.
Yeah.
I didn't do a lot of cooking growing up, and I'm trying to do a little bit more now. It definitely feels more. I mean, some of it is just knowledge. All of the characters you play as have been cooking for years, so they know the stuff. They know what will work to make this kind of recipe. I don't know that stuff, but it still felt accessible in a way that like made it feel more appealing to even want to cook, which is cool.
I think that's another thing personally for me is that like the game kind of gave me like that feeling of man, I'm just lazy. Let me actually go learn some recipes and cook. Because the mini games really was just like, yeah, I got a lot to learn.
I think to add on, oh sorry, I was gonna say
go ahead.
To add on what Steven was saying though, I think it also made it like I said, it showed how cooking could be accessible because like some of those things were able to be substituted. Like you didn't always have to use the same meat sometimes for the recipe. Sometimes it will allow you to use veggies or like bell pepper or like other things, and that's how really realistically that's how real cooking is. Sometimes you don't have I don't know, you don't have milk, so you have to use applesauce or something for make pancakes. I don't know. Yeah, if you ever had to do that before, like it's like oh wow, this is real. This is really realistic. Sometimes you're like, I don't have that thing, but I can use this other thing. Yeah.
Because I can work with less. I'm cool with that. It's just sometimes it makes it seem like you need to get all the recipes in order to get the full quality of the meal.
Yeah, you got to also explore. Yeah, you gotta test out things. Yeah.
Sometimes I'm like rock salt. You got to get rid of it. You just keep putting rock salt into the recipe.
I'm just
that's
hungry.
true.
I'm just hungry, man. I'm just hungry. Let me cook my food. I kind of felt like that with real life because some people would be like, "You tried to cook this? Yeah. And you only cooked it with these recipes. Yeah. Why couldn't you go to the store or anything? I just didn't have it. I cooked what I got.
That's right.
I'm eating it. I'm eating
what you got.
You'd be like, that's where I kind of felt like with Amani. Amani was just like trying to judge, but then she was like, nope. It's good.
It's nice. It's nice.
It's good.
Yeah.
Let me shut the hell up.
Yeah, she had older sibling, all the responsibilities on her.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. She reveals some of her struggles later in the story about her challenge with meeting expectations as the older sister. So it makes a lot of sense. I did really
would.
like that part, by the way, as far as like it, as far as like as the game kind of comes to its conclusion, like it feels, at least to me, like you have the final fight that happens, which is super cool, by the way. You know, didn't
Yeah.
expect some Super Sentai type stuff to go down.
Mhm.
So that was epic. But it was like, oh, hey, this is really cool, yada yada. This fight's like hard. Maybe, you know, it's definitely like one of the harder fights. Like might die here, kind of feeling, you know.
Mhm.
But uh, it feels like the most impactful moment of the story for me, at least, happens like after that fight's over.
Yeah,
In the resolution between the sisters.
I
Um,
agree.
and Amani just kind of like being real about her experience and her struggles, and trying to like have a heart to heart with the other sisters.
Yeah, yeah, that was good. That was really good. I think they did a good job with that. And like you said, it all came back to cooking. It all went back around to it. I had
Hmm.
noticed. I didn't. Well, I was watching the commentary a bit. They do the little hand washing thing, the mini game or whatever, at the beginning, and I didn't remember doing that at all.
Yeah, me
Then
neither. But until I like
Hand
went
washing?
back,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. But then you
Like,
get to the end, you do the hand washing thing, mini game again.
you're like,
And they're like,
oh, I
it's really
did do
to the
this.
process.
Yeah,
And I was like, okay. I kind of wish you had done that throughout the whole game, but maybe that was important that they didn't do it that way. I don't.
I think for the sake of the story, it was important that they only did it. Like yeah, the way that they did it. I think that it was supposed to represent that it was like kind of a special ritual that you only kind
Yeah,
of do when you're with your family. There's just
yeah.
like certain things that you just don't do without your family. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Hmm.
That's kind of what I got from that. I was like, oh, this is like
Oh, I see.
this is like a serious moment of like
Right.
we're at the end of the day we're gonna still be family no matter how we feel about each other. Even when Lena was like, she was like, I'm not washing my hands. I was wearing gloves, and then Amani was like, oh no, you don't. Like we're washing our hands right now. It's like that family moment of like you're not skipping this. You're coming to this now. Like this is the one moment that we're able to do something together, and we just had a huge fight. We're gonna at least do it together, and we're at least gonna
yeah,
get through this. You know, I think it was very very smart of them to save that washing thing. And like I said, I didn't even remember that we washed our hands together until like I went back and like looked at like a video on YouTube. I was like, oh yeah, we did do that in the beginning, didn't we?
Right.
I was like, shoot.
Yeah.
I was like,
You do a lot of
it's
cooking,
serious.
so
uh, give
you
me,
let you forget a little bit.
like, give me your hands. We're gonna wash our hands.
Thought was wear some gloves. You know what, girl, get over here. Lena do get on my nerves. Sorry.
Lena meals.
Lena meals.
Oh no, not the
Lena.
jingle.
The
No.
environmental storytelling was top notch. Though repetitive at times, it was top notch.
It was top notch. It was
Right.
perfect. It was like, this is like walking through a mall, like Jesus. All the ads and or if you've ever been to New York, it's like it's perfect. It's like, yeah, this is exactly how it sounds like, running
Sensory
around and
overload.
sensory overload, ads
Trying
everywhere.
to jam out to the music and
Everywhere.
else constantly. I'm like, okay.
Like, this is definitely corporate. This is porn. Got no sauce. You could at least purchase a singer. Come on. I
Nah,
would have
man.
believed.
Remember, this is about capitalism. You gotta do the cheap way. We'll do it ourselves.
Yeah.
Right. The cheap way.
I sang in the choir before I got it.
Ugh. But it proved this. It proved this point.
It did.
Yeah. Dude.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. Oh boy.
Yeah, I just, I honestly, I guess kind of overall wrapping it up, like, I really did enjoy this game. This was a pleasant surprise, and I mainly loved it for the story, but still, like, I guess that's what kind of encouraged me to keep playing and keep navigating it through it. Like, just wanted to see what other adventures that they would go through, and then, of course, like, the big story drops that you didn't really expect. Like, it was just, it was really touching. And I really do appreciate them making the story very relatable and very I guess authentic. I think that's just the there's just so much reality of like even the sections where you're like going through the flashbacks of like them going back to their shop and things that happen. Like it's just like life. It's like things that you kind of think about sometimes. I don't know. That at least in my opinion, sometimes I think about like back at home and other things that happened in my life and moments that happened in my life too. Where it's like wow, like this is where I'm at now right now. I don't know. It was a really good story. It was really real. But I guess that's my final remarks about that.
I think I really loved its honesty, really. Like, it's not
Mhm.
sugarcoating anything, it's there. It's just like, okay, I want to continue playing this. And the story made me enjoy it so much.
Likewise, likewise. Yeah, I very much appreciate having I I mean, bite size is not the word, but a shorter RPG style experience
Yeah.
to play through, to like kind of like have a concise, complete thing that's not the typical JRPG 40-hour type of joint that I usually am playing,
Yeah.
um, but still kind of like hitting scratching that itch that these RPGs typically scratch. Maybe not the same level like customization, obviously, but like definitely more of a straightforward experience. And yeah, I think they telling that kind of concise. I think the game labeling itself as like a narrative, spicy narrative, turn-based RPG feels proper, right? That the narrative
Mhm.
is a key element of the experience more so than other just like normal just basic RPGs, right? Because there's so much like the conversation and getting into all these details that it's like that's like the second half of the game is like the narrative, so um really appreciated all those things, very relatable. um a lot of good, I think, takeaways for real life and our personal struggles with family and all of that. Um, you know, gives some courage to handle difficult discussions, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know. Um, Also, we didn't mention this too much earlier, but enjoyed the music and the sound design quite a bit. The
Yeah.
little jingles as you navigate the inventory to do your cooking definitely made it
Yeah.
fun to do the cooking in
Mhm.
in that process.
Yeah.
That might be why Steven also enjoyed it a bit more than the combat too.
Maybe. Yeah. 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 The noises you move when you're moving around in the menu, that is fun. It's like you're rooting
Yeah.
around in a cupboard trying to grab all your ingredients. That's cool.
I'm gonna say that while hearing about this game and being introduced to it, I did not expect it to be an RPG. I actually
Mm.
thought it was gonna be a platformer.
Okay.
Yeah, just a straight up platformer. I'm like, okay, this is just gonna be a platformer. I'm gonna go in. But I was like, wow, it has RPG elements. Cool.
Yeah.
I'm ready. Because I'm a big fan of RPGs. So I love playing. Yeah.
Heck yeah.
I think one of the sort of to what Tim was saying about uh, not really bite sized, but I love the focus that this game was able to achieve, and especially with like the studios. The last game that we played from the studio in Game Club, Thirsty Suitors, I can definitely see
Suitors.
the evolution from like some ideas that were like well intentioned but didn't super pan out in that game for me have like really developed into more focused, more tight, and more what is it called? They got the juice. It's got
The
that game design
Got the
juice to it
juice.
now that just makes it stick. It makes it for a 10-hour experience. It was a blast to play.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, I was thinking that same thing. Is a direct extension from Thirsty Suitors.
Hmm.
Mhm.
From the
Empty
UI,
coming back.
right?
Mhm.
Empty came back. The cooking and the animations, they use similar kind of mini styles as they did in Thirsty Suitors, right? It's like a
Yeah.
direct extension, um, which is very smart. Very smart.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah, I saw the trailer, I think about last year, maybe at like a Summer Games Fest or something, and I immediately knew, ooh, I have to play this game. Like visually, it's interesting. Like the art direction and the various different cultures in there. It also being a turn-based art RPG because they made that clear, but also it being about like sort of like family. Like you get a little bits of those from that like 1 2 minute trailer when it first came out, and then just to actually playing it and being such a like fun, charming game that also is like very, very touching as well. Like there's a lot of things to relate to with all the different ways how they talk about family and how they like weave in all the different themes about cooking and restaurants and and evil corporal people like all throughout the storytelling. So
Mm-hmm.
I had a fun time. I'm definitely looking to go back and finishing it.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah. All power to all the people. Shout out to that. Yes.
All right.
Beautiful.
Well, guys, if
I mean,
anyone,
y'all got it. Oh, sorry. Go on. Go on.
oh, no, I was gonna say, does anyone have any last remarks about it before we end the recording here?
Mm, I pretty much got nothing so far. I gotta after hearing this discussion, I gotta play more of the game now. I'm like,
Oh
okay,
yeah.
is my workaholism really that unhealthy? All right, yeah,
Might hold up a mirror to you.
yeah. Like when y'all talk about like, man, yeah, I'm gonna look into that a little bit more. But yeah, that's my final thing to say.
Love it.
All right, y'all. Well, guys, thank you for turning into Dosa Divas Game Club discussion. I really, like I said, I really enjoyed playing this game. I think everyone else can agree as well. So I'm excited for the next Game Club discussion that we'll have. And you guys have a wonderful day.
All right.
Yeah, thanks
It was a
everybody.
blast.